Hi, my name is David Eulitt. I'm a staff photographer with the Kansas City Star, and these are a few of my favorite photos of 2017 so far. I covered the Chiefs for the paper, and going to San Diego is always my favorite trip of the year. This is a picture of the team coming out of the tunnel underneath the grandstand at Qualcomm Stadium. This will be the last time I can shoot this picture because the Chargers have moved to Los Angeles for the 2017 season. This is a picture of Daniel Sorensen intercepting a pass at the end of the first half of the final game of the year on January 1st, a game that the Chiefs won and clinched the AFC division title. This was a picture I shot long after the Chiefs lost to the Steelers in that playoff game, and while I was waiting for my car to warm up, I hopped out and grabbed my phone and took this picture of this solitary barbecue grill sitting in the parking lot and posted it on Twitter. Didn't really think much about it. The next day I woke up and hundreds of people had retweeted it and reposted it and commented on it, and I was surprised by the attention that it got. This was a picture of Marcus Peters breaking up a pass intended for Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver Antonio Brown in the end zone of the AFC divisional playoff game. The Chiefs had held the Steelers without a touchdown in the playoff game, in part due to plays like this. But they were not able to come through in that game, holding the Steelers to 6 field goals, but their offense had sort of stalled on their own. But this was a picture that symbolized the defensive stand that the team had made. This is a portrait I made of Ruby Hansen, who opened Night Bloom Darkroom and Bookstore in the Crossroads District. I made this picture for Inc. magazine. It was a real thrill to go into a working darkroom again, conjured up all these memories of when I used to stand in a darkroom and make prints, load film, and a very laborious process which now digital has taken away, but there was sort of a romantic part of that I really loved about photography. This was a portrait I made of John Pryor, who has a woodworking studio on the Crossroads named Madison Flitch. And John has an interesting story. He had moved here from Boston and followed his love of woodworking. And I made this portrait of him, among others, for a story that we did in Inc. magazine. This is a picture of Pauletta Ashby of Overland Park leaving her home the day after her home had burned in the City Place development fire. The giant apartment complex under construction had caught fire and sent red-hot embers into the air, and those had fallen on roofs around the neighborhood, and Pauletta's home was one of those that caught fire and burned to the ground. She had found these trio of oil paintings that were behind a piece of furniture that had sort of miraculously spared the heat, and I thought it was kind of interesting that there was one thing in the house that had been spared. This is a photo I made during the Memorial Day service at the World War I Museum this past May, of the bugler playing taps during the end of the ceremony. This was something I had seen on my drive around 79th and State Line. I had noticed this bird's nest in the coffee sign at Caldy's Coffee, and I thought, well, I'm going to get out and see if a bird is actually in that nest. And sure enough, I waited about 15 minutes and the bird came and took off and made this picture. Sometimes you get an odd photo assignment working at a daily newspaper, and this was one of those. I was assigned to go out and photograph a portrait of Alex the llama. Alex had been renamed in honor of Alex Gordon and the 2015 Kansas City Royals World Series champions. So I went out and tried to make the most unusual picture I could make of a llama, and he did not hiss or spit at me, so I considered this a massive success. I hope you enjoy these images, and thank you for watching.